and welcome to K-Stop, Fuse's K-Pop podcast. Hello, this is Jeff Benjamin, and as always, I'm joined by the Yenny to my limb, Tina Zhu.
Yes, I was hoping I'd get to be Yenny. My girl Yenny, my favorite member of Wonder Girls.
Of course you're Yenny, duh.
Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in, as always.
Yes.
We are excited to be back after a long July 4th holiday weekend. Just trying to get back into the groove and, back to the grind at work here at Fuse.
Back to the grind.
Yeah, and we come back to some really, really exciting comebacks.
Yeah, K-pop clearly didn't have a holiday.
No, they didn't.
Or Korea, obviously.
I had to play catch up since, a lot of stuff came out, during the 3-day weekend.
Yeah, me
and
too.
Obviously, I was out getting lit, so I didn't have time to catch them right when they came out. But yeah, what'd you do for July 4th?
Well, I don't know if I call it lit, but no, I just went to friend's rooftop. It was nice. We got a little caught in the rain, but it was actually kind of fun to watch fireworks in the rain,
Yeah,
kind of lovely in that way.
The torrential downpour actually came about an hour earlier than the forecast had predicted. So I was legit drenched. And I was making my way from one house party to the next. And in that moment, I was just drenched.
Yeah, see, I would have been miserable. I didn't get that wet. Thank God. I hate being wet.
But yeah, the fireworks were dope this year. They were in Long Island City for those who are listening from New York. So yeah, it was
right
a great weekend.
there. Right there.
Yeah, now this week it's just blistering hot, so hopefully we make it through this humid 90+ degree.
Yes,
week.
Pray for us, K-Stop listeners. Please do.
Yes.
And speaking of K-Stop listeners, as we always say, you guys are as much a part of this show as we are, which is why we always love kicking it off with some great listener and reader comments throughout the episode. Actually, if you guys tuned in last week, it was our mid-year episode, and we checked in, gave our favorite songs, we did our favorite songs, albums, and concepts of the year so far. So I want to give a special, so this is really fun because at Rushina B on Twitter hit us up with she used the K-Stop hashtag, which is what we're always checking to see what's going on with you guys and we're listening to you guys there. And she sent us her top 5 albums and top 5 songs. So should we judge her? No, should we share?
Should we discuss and share?
Yes,
yeah.
Let's discuss. I combined.
Just scare. That works.
Okay. So, her top 5 albums so far: Young Forever, BTS, into that. 130 Mood, TRBL, Dean. That was on your list, right?
That was on your list.
Oh.
Trouble.
Yes, you're right. Okay, I can't remember my own picks apparently. Wonderful. Free Somebody, Luna, which is another great pick. That one was close.
For some reason, I forgot that was a full EP.
Yeah. Right. No, that one was close for me too. Flight Log Departure got 7.
Yay!
Yeah,
I had that on my list.
And Crush's Interlude EP.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually was spinning Crush all day. I think Saturday. It's just a nice mood because I was just chilling at a friend's apartment, and he's just he's got chill music and
That's it. If you guys missed it, by the way, our interview with Crush from KCON New York is on Fuse.tv now.
So good, yeah.
And he talks about, he confirms that new music's coming with Dean and Zico, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But also, he talked about some American artists he wanted to work with, which was Kehlani, which is so cool.
Yeah, I lost my shit when I heard that because I love Kehlani. So if the two of them ever collaborate, it would be amazing.
I know. I hope she sees it, or I hope we're doing our part to help her see it, And then Kate Trinata, which is also such a cool pick too.
And there were 2 kind of surprising picks for me. Not that I wouldn't expect him to know more of maybe not the super top 40 artists, but it was nice to hear him support those artists.
No, I love it. So cool. And then Rushina B's top 5 songs of the year so far have been Save Me /Fire, BTS, which was on my list. Yes. So great choice.
So therefore, great choice.
So therefore, it's incredible. The Half Moon song with Dean.
Yes, that was on my list.
Yes.
We all love Dean.
Seventh Sense by NCTU.
Oh, okay.
Which, if we had done best music videos, I probably would have chosen that one.
Yeah.
Because
it was a very interesting music video.
Yeah, I freaking love that music video.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Again, Free Somebody by Luna. So, once again, loving that one. And Deepened by Brave Girls, which is one of our, which is all over our list.
Oh
we
my
loved that one.
I'm loving this person's picks.
And Monster by XO, which I 100% support.
I don't support that, but that's okay. I support enough of their picks.
Yes, because we love your taste. Rushina B, thank you so much for letting us know what's up with what you loved in K-pop so far. You guys can always tell us what you're loving in K-pop, what you're not loving in K-pop. Anything. We're always listening. You can use hashtag K-Stop on Twitter. Hit us up individually. I'm at Jeff__Benjamin.
And I'm at Hey_Tina with 3 A's.
You can leave a comment on Views.tv. Leave a comment on iTunes. Leave a rating on iTunes. We love it all. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much. You can listen so many different places. YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, so many places. So thanks so much. And last, one more comment I wanted to get to because I love this question in general. And we might have hinted on it before, but I don't know if we ever got so in depth on it. But someone named Michael at Hubake _ on Twitter wrote, "Can you guys talk about how you first got into K-pop? Huge fan of your podcast, by the way." And first off, thanks, Michael.
Yeah, thank you for listening and for the question.
Yes. And do you want to start first, Tina?
Yeah, I mean, mine's pretty mine's not that exciting. I think I got into K-pop through Rain or B. Back in I guess is at his prime. I don't know. I think it was 2005, and it was I think around the time that Full House came out, or I can't remember if it was Full House or Sandu Let's Go to School, but Sandu Let's Go to School is one of my all-time favorite K-dramas. Very underrated. I very much recommend it for those who are into K-dramas. So yeah, watched that and was oh, he's cute, blah blah blah. So got into his music, got into and through him listened to some JYP artists and other acts. And then in terms of super idol groups, it was when Big Bang debuted that I went full blown fangirl and actually check forums and downloaded things, and that's where it all began.
Love it. So you were in K-dramas first, and then
my friend from high school, my best friend from high school, actually got me into K-dramas, and a lot of actors also sing and singers also act, so it was very easy to kind of transition and kind of dabble in both. And so I think it was, and then I just got really really into YG artists. I think I went more Big Bang and was in Seven first, and then kind of went backward and listened to more One Time when they were earlier. Because One Time they were about to disband or not disband, hiatus, whatever. So it was around their 5th album maybe. One Time. So I don't know, I'm just talking out loud. I don't even know. I'm getting my years mixed up.
No.
But yeah, so it was mostly YG first, and it took me a while to get into SM because I had this weird SM anti-bias thing where I just refused to support them because I felt they were so different from YG, and so not the vibe that I like.
Yeah.
But they've definitely their sound has changed over the years, and obviously certain artists are different from other artists. So, and that's how I got into K-pop.
Huh. I didn't know it was through the K-drama. I think a lot of probably listeners, too, also started with the TV, the dramas first, and then, eventually make their way over. So, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and your story?
I mean, it really was, thanks to YouTube and stuff like that, because if you want the long story, it's that I always grew up my mom was went to school for music. She was a singer. We listened to so many different things growing up, her Italian operas. Mom did belly dancing for a while.
Really?
There was, some Middle Eastern music in the house, lots of fun stuff like that. So, I never thought it had to be in English for me to be into that,
Right. Absolutely.
But it was kind of with YouTube and stuff like that, and like blogs and whatnot, and like music critics and music writers whose like opinions I liked and like respected and followed, they were really into this K-pop thing. And I remember being like, oh, I don't know, like maybe this isn't so appealing to me. I don't really. But then, I was reading just some writer that I like's writing, and like the way they described the music and the way they made it sound, I was like, oh, like this sounds awesome. So like I downloaded this and like I'd listen to that.
Do you remember what was the first song that you were really hooked on?
It was I remember. It was After School's Because of You.
Oh, dope.
And
that's such a good song. Yeah.
That's why they have a special place in my heart always.
No, that EP was really good in general.
Yeah. And it was because I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like this song is like starting as a ballad, but it has electronic elements in it, but now it's a dance track, but there's rapping here, but there's a big bell. And I was like, wait a minute, this is like everything I wanted. And in that time, like maybe it was 2007, 2008, whenever YouTube, 2006, whenever YouTube was kind of coming up. I can't exactly remember, but it was like maybe 2009 or something.
I think that EP was like 2009.
Yeah, maybe. So that's probably what it was. But yeah, it was kind of like I thought pop music in America was like really, really stale at that time. Like this was like pre Lady Gaga era, things were just kind of stale, and pop music wasn't cool or fun in my opinion. I think pop music is way cooler and fun. So I was looking for that, extra outlet. So yeah, and then from there, of course, you get into, you want to see the live performance, and you want to like, you pay attention when there's this, comeback and all this stuff. And that's the thing is like, you get sort of sucked into the world. And then before I knew it, I'd listen to
this hole you can't get out of.
Yeah. And then like, before you know it, I'd be like, all right, well, I'll listen to this one next. And I was like, oh, this song's great too. Before you know it, here you are. And here we are. So those are our little stories.
Our K-pop podcast.
The K-pop podcast.
Who
would have thought?
History.
I know. Who would have thought when we started? So thank you, Rain. Thank you, After School. Thank you, Big Bang,
for opening this world to us.
Yes, here we are. Yes, so thank you, Michael, for the comments. Yeah. And last but not least, in our reader response section, we want to, as every week, we have a poll of your favorite release of the previous week's episode. Last week we talked about Taeyeon's Y, Brave Girl's High Heels, and Beast's Butterfly, and you voted for Taeyeon. I think we both did.
Yes, I think we both did.
And she won by a landslide. It's not as big as Sistar's nomination last week, but she got 93% of the votes.
Okay.
Beast got 7%, and then Brave Girls got
like 0.1.
0.4, okay, Tina?
Okay.
0.43, if you want to get specific. But yes, thank you guys so much, and congrats to Taeyeon.
Yay.
And you'll be able to vote on your favorite release from this week, which we'll kick off with. Which, Tina?
We're going to kick off with Beast.
Ah, yes,
they're my group, and their long-awaited comeback, and especially, with the departure of Hyungsung, it's just kind of just tough, and then everyone's just trying to figure out how their comeback's going to be, what the general concept, the mood is, if, like, 5 members is gonna look weird, but their comeback is their official title track is Ribbon.
Yes.
And this follows their pre-release song Butterfly, which we talked about last week, and I don't think either of us loved it. I think it was more the visuals that were a little irking, but the song was nice.
Yeah, I think I liked the song a little more than most people.
Yeah. But Ribbon is kind of similar to something like the song 12:30.
Yeah. Well, okay. Someone said this. Someone else told me that, but you keep going first.
Okay. The vibe is similar.
Yeah.
This one, the violin instrumental is very, very prominent.
Yeah.
Which I really like. It kind of has this like old vintage instrumental nostalgic feel to it that I really like.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of like a pop ballad track, I would say.
Yeah. And I really liked that part. Do you remember Good Luck from 2 years ago? I think it was from 2014.
Yes.
This is Good Luck. That had the violin element in it too, and I really loved that. I thought that was the best song of the year last year, or that year, I should say. And and they're I think like they're playing off like their strengths. Like they know what will work for them, what will like do well musically, I think. And I really think, I mean, I'm honestly a really, really big fan of it. The second I heard it, like especially the violin, but it was like slightly electronic. I don't know. It was like really cool.
No, it is. It was like amped up a bit.
Yeah, so it was really cool in that way, and I really liked that part. I really loved the song.
I like it. I like that it was like a pop R&B ballad, but they threw in a bit of auto tune. Choonhyun was definitely auto tuned, like his first verse. But yeah, it was kind of like in the middle of like singing and rapping, which he does sometimes. He sang straight up like. They have him opening a lot these songs.
Right,
lately.
he opened the last song too.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
with singing. I'm like, whoa, that's different.
Right.
Yeah, and I really like it. I like the chorus. The song itself I really dig. The video I kind of like the storyline. How like each member has their own thing happening.
Right.
'Cause the song is about like a failed relationship. How a ribbon is like he's comparing untying a ribbon to a relationship untying and failing and falling apart, which I heard because Choonhyun, he wrote this song,
Right.
and I believe he got the inspiration from actually watching like a ribbon being untied, and that's where he got that inspiration from.
Certainly not any real life experience.
Certainly not.
Because they don't date. K-pop stars don't date. And if they do, it's really bad.
So, yes, it's a very, very sad song full of longing and nostalgia. And I think Beast has really, really done well for themselves in that. And, whoa, okay. I feel like there's always something weird happening in this room. Like things are always falling apart. Anyway, sorry. I sound crazy right now because I can't freaking finish my sentence.
I feel like there's always a moment in every episode where like we just freak out and like the listener just needs to be ready.
What is wrong with them?
Sorry. The part of the wall to keep this room dark fell off. or the curtain.
Now there's like a burst of light.
Yeah, the curtain, and so like, and everyone's just kind of staring at us outside. So, but that's okay. Studio doesn't need to be dark.
As I was saying before, we were really interrupted by the curtain. I think Beast has done really well in the sector of music where that really plays on your emotions in terms of longing for the past and past relationships, past feelings, and Choonhyun his I guess theme in the video is trying to turn back time in a giant old vintage clock, and a lot of just like playing on memories and things like that. So but I'm not loving the styling, I will say.
Styling, yeah. Well, at times it was almost like a little creepy. Like the like ribbon stuff got a little like creepy at times. I was like, oh shit.
Right. What did you think of the overall, I guess, like mood and?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what kind of like struck to me is like I almost thought like because they're like kind of in these like done up like like buttoned up shirts and whatnot and like with like ribbons. It read almost like kind of very youthful, like adolescent, like almost like they're kind of like going back to that like look or something.
Yeah, but it was like a carnival maestro
but there was this
like vibe,
creepiness to it, and it like and it messes with you in that kind of way. So I was almost kind of like it was like a very conflicting like way of feeling, like while you're watching it, but. Yeah, and the choreography at times was really good, or sometimes I thought it was like really on point, and sometimes I'm like, this is a little like corny.
I did not like it. I did not like the actual twirling of the hands. That was so weird.
Needed to stop.
Yeah, yesterday. It just looked like they were really forcing like one of those viral dances, and it just wasn't working.
Or just have something to people like latch
onto. It just seemed a little like corny to me. Yeah. I think they like because the sound is very mature, but I feel like the look was not. Was not like connecting. I think they could have. In my mind, I was thinking like they could have just gone with sleek, all black suits, like black, like a black like blazer inside, black, button up, and just be really sleek, and that would have matched the song a little better because it's sophisticated but still dark. If you're in all black. Do you remember towards the end? They had like close-ups of each member or like a group shot where it was just like a spotlight on them, and it was like kind of just like a portrait shot almost.
Were
they were
crying?
Just standing there posing.
Oh,
I think that look was maybe a little better because they weren't all wearing that weird little ribbon bow tie thing.
Right.
Yeah, but Yosef sounded great. He hit those high notes like a champ toward the end.
No, he really stood out in particular for me, vocally and visually in the video. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of been like a theme almost of this podcast, just like looking at Cube Entertainment in 2016, and I think this is like the step they needed to be like,
absolutely,
Beast is fine, and from what I can tell, it's doing quite well in Korea.
Right.
So yeah,
Have you checked out the rest of the album? Because this is like a full-length studio album.
I know, I know. I really want to. I didn't get a chance to. I don't know if it got released on iTunes yet, but I don't know where you listened to it. But
I listened to I think it was like a listening post on a live journal. It was probably Omuna.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, but what do I need to know? What do I need to
It is, I will say it's a little it's definitely more pop ballad
okay.
poppy sounding.
Yeah.
There are a couple that I like that are more on the R&B side. Yosub, so each member has a solo.
Nice.
2 members, Tujun and
Gikwon.
Yeah, and I still call him AJ from his like solo days. I don't know, but yeah, so the 2 of them have a duet.
Right.
And it's decent. I love Yosub solo.
Come
like
out.
Nawa, come out. That one's really great.
Nice.
Junhyun's is pretty good. I wanted it to be more hip hop, but the album's definitely not hip hop. The only hip hop esque song on there is the the first track, which is the title of the album as well, Highlight.
Oh, Highlight, right.
That one's kind of funky, but yeah, definitely more hip hop influence. The rest is definitely like more mellow, ballad based. So I think overall it's like nothing surprising from them.
Right.
But it's fine.
Not surprising in maybe a good way.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have like taken it up a notch, maybe a bit more. I wanted something a bit more like in your face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always tricky though when you go through like these changes, Like I feel like groups tend to play it very safe when you go through kind of like a member change and whatnot. Have you been seeing the interviews they did recently about?
I haven't.
So quick update or related update is that they started doing, they're obviously promoting the album and whatnot, and they were like, there were a lot of differences in opinion, like musical opinion between like Hyun Sung's and like ours. And I almost wonder if that's like why a song like Yeah came out, because like, they were like, okay, we'll do like the bangery electronic thing.
Right.
But they also said like, yeah, we don't keep in touch with him. Like we wish him the best, but you know. So I was like, it's all very interesting to me. So I wonder, I just always wonder like how a group continues on when like they have like a switch like this. Like I really wonder what 21's next move is. Right. I really wonder what will happen next. But it looks like Beast is still Beast. I think they did well.
I appreciate that they kept their sound and their overall consistency and everything. It's like I like the song. So
nice, cool. Yeah. Well, let us know what you guys think of Beast. So many ways to get in touch, as we told you before. #KStop, Twitter, Fuse.tv, all of it. Let us know. Who's next on the list, Tina?
Let's talk about one of your favorite groups, 17.
These are all some of my favorite groups, FYI. This episode is so good, by the way.
Yes. Oh, that's true. But this is very relevant to last week because...
Yes, another.
Right, 17 performed at KCON New York and, blew everyone's minds, and Jeff wrote a really great piece on 17 and their future and whatever is upcoming for them and where they could be in a couple years on Fuse.tv. So check that out for sure if you haven't already.
Thanks, Tina.
But yeah, 17, they have a repackaged album. Remind me, is it Love and Letter?
Love and Letter.
Love and Letter. They repackaged it to include the new single Very Nice.
Yes.
As well as a few other songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're back with another like very, very colorful video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What did you think of this? Because this one is definitely more upbeat and with like a bit more of like a pow to it than Pretty You.
Yeah.
Which is softer, obviously.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that Pretty You I didn't love it at first. It actually grew on me and I really like it now. But Nice is just like automatic to me. This is like...
I was like, Jeff probably loves this.
It's just, I love old school like brass and stuff like that too. So the fact that this just like also like I don't know if it's a Fergalicious reference, but the 4 trace 2 oh no, like the, you know.
Yeah, there were a few things in there. I'm like, are they referencing something? I don't know.
But like from the second that started, I was like, I'm
Yeah.
into it. I'm so into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just think it's definitely like, if Beast is sort of, you know, there's always like that solemn ballad that's like a hit around summer. This is like the opposite of that, you know, in terms of boy bands. You know, this
the
is
two
like,
songs couldn't be any more different.
this is like in your face, pow, punching, you know, like so there. But I really like it. I mean, you know, this is so fun, so
fun, yeah.
good in that way. You know, it's not, I don't think it's trying to be anything other than, you know, just like a big, fun, youthful like track.
And they still managed to keep their, like, I guess, affinity for pastel colors.
Oh,
like,
yes.
they
in the
like
video.
they like their bright poppy colors, and this one's just like even more amped up, very summery. They seem to really are trying to play into the whole New York fire escape, like chilling in the streets vibe. Someone was wearing a Brooklyn tank.
Oh, I missed that.
Someone else was the girl was wearing a shirt that says "One Call Away," and I'm like, is that referencing Chingy or Charlie Puth?
Or neither.
Hopefully but neither. Yeah, I was that was cool. And like there was a lot of like text on shirts, and that was like catching my attention.
Dang, I missed all of that. apparently I was just too enamored by,
there's a lot of basketball stuff on shirts.
I mean I was so, once again, just like enamored by their dancing.
The choreography was great.
Oh my gosh, like,
and it was just so, it felt like almost like kind of Michael Jackson meets Street Fighter.
I like that.
They were like just like literally punching the air and
right.
kicking and stuff. I'm like, this is really aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that like I think they're just really out there to prove that like we are like a performance group, like, you know, and we are going to show it. And I love those suspenders. I do too. I think those. I can't wait to see. I don't know if they've already performed it live yet, but I can't wait to see what that looks like live.
Right.
Because I have a feeling that's going to be like their thing, you know, or their look for this concept. I'm so I hope it goes viral.
Did you notice that the roof that the school's rooftop they were dancing on was like the exact same rooftop as the one in Uptension's Attention video?
It was.
And I don't know if all school buildings are painted the same way in Korea, but I actually went to the scene in both videos, the respective scenes, and had them next to each other. And I even looked at like which windows were painted and which ones weren't. And I swear my life, they're either like the same roof, same filming set location, or just two schools who are like painted the same way. And I was like, what is happening? Like, this looks so familiar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we loved that Uptension video too.
Yeah.
I'm really satisfied by it. I think it did like really well when it first got released. So I think, I don't know.
It has a lot of views on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, they're you know, I think you saw Tina referenced this article before, but I remember, or I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but yeah, I remember 2 years ago seeing BTS at KCON, and they were like one of the newest groups on the bill, you know, but they had this like huge fan reaction. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to watch this group. And then lo and behold, 2 years later, they're headlining, headlining KCON, you know, in 2 arenas, both KCONs, you know.
Right.
So I'm like, 17's gonna be the one to watch, because they got very similar reaction in that kind of way. So I was like, damn, interesting. So yeah, I'm just really, you know, the only thing I just gotta say is that this has happened in several 17 videos at this point. This was in like the Manse video too. Like there's always one girl like they're all pursuing, and I'm like, this is a little much. There's 13 of you.
Right.
You're all going for this one girl.
Right.
Like I get it, but like at the same time, like maybe we like shouldn't all be going for like this one. Like, you know, like guys, like statistically, a lot of people are going to be upset here. You know,
right.
Like let's just make it a little more realistic. Like, you know, bring out the Pledis girls. You know. So yeah. So I don't know. I'm just really digging it. And I think it's. I hope it's a summer hit for them. We'll see.
I like it a lot. I think if I had to pick, I would probably pick this over Pretty You.
Me too.
Yeah.
Even though Pretty You really did grow on me.
Right.
Yeah. I like. This one's just so instant and fun. I almost kind of wish it was released before Pretty You, because it seemed like Pretty You was supposed to be a little more. I don't know.
It seems like a complimentary track on an album to me.
Yeah, maybe. But that's the thing too, is that I was also reading that like fans see this like as a progression of like, you know, the first singles were like realizing you have a crush, saying you have a crush. Pretty You is like them admitting that like, you know, you're pretty.
And this one's just like the pursuit.
And this one's like, you're nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe.
That's cute. I like that.
You know, so maybe
I can work with
that's
that.
what it is, you know? So yeah, 17.
Let
really
us know
excited.
if you're digging it.
Yeah. It's Beast versus 17 in terms of the boy bands.
Yes.
But then we have the great girl group, Wonder Girls.
They're back.
Oh, Tina, I loved that.
Because the video didn't do that.
I know. What the heck?
So
I really wanted that.
We gotta fill that in for them.
Yes, exactly. So Wonder Girls, they're back. And you know, I wrote this on Fuse.tv that, you know, if they were always known for like 50s, 60s sound, and then they, you know, went to the 80s for the last one with the refreshed reboot. I Feel You. They've kind of
such a good song.
Such a good song, good album, everything amazing. They've kind of landed in the middle now with a 70s psychedelic reggae rock song with Why So Lonely.
Yes. I want your thoughts first.
Whoa, Tina gave me a face just now, and I'm a little...
No. I like it. I just want your thoughts first. I know that you are very much a big fan of their, you know, retro sound.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it wasn't exactly what I was thinking it was going to be, but I think it really worked well. I think the reggae sound is once again, one really on trend, just in terms of pop in general. You know, Fifth Harmony's doing it, Meghan Trainor's doing it, Drake's doing it, bringing like a lot of island sounds back. You know, and obviously Rihanna, who's from the islands, does it. You know, it's really very like of the moment, and I think they did really well. You know, and I love that there's just like this hint of melancholy throughout it all. Like it's really nice. It's not too over, you know, it's not like a bummer, but it's like vibey. And
the song that I totally agree with that. It feels very summery, but at the same time very lethargic.
Yes.
Because they're just like, oh my God, I'm like over this dude. He sucks.
Like I'm here, but I feel lonely around him. Oh my gosh, we've all been there. So.
But it's like, I think it's like the realization.
That. And
it's
that's
like,
the saddest
I'm
part.
lonely, and I kind of want this love that you see in, like, you know, the storybooks, and I hear about on TV and see on TV. But I'm not getting that from this guy because he like doesn't seem to like feel me the same way I feel him, and I'm just. And the video, it's like they seem to be very adamant that they need to kick him to the curb. And
well, I loved that part of the video too, because I think they did so well with this idea that, you know, someone like that can feel like you're just like with a mannequin or with a lifeless person, you know, and you know, if you haven't seen the video, they're kind of they're basically like harassing this mannequin, who's you know, and it's a really fun take on that idea, you know, because you know, if it was maybe a real guy, you know, it would have been I don't think it would have been as fun or as playful in that way, but I think I love that element of it, that like, you know, I don't know why I like it so much, but because it's so silly and playful. But when the mannequin, you know, quote unquote, raises his hand to Yenny, and Yenny like stops it, but then she's, you know, but I'm like, but obviously a mannequin can't do that. But like, it was almost like she was like shocked. She's like, oh my gosh, did this bitch just try this with me? You know, like, I loved that. And you know, it's very like, you know, women supporting women, like, you know, that they're all in this together, like ruining him together. And then
I love that scene where all four of them like exit the little whatever motel they were in or something, and they were all standing by their respective doors and looking at each other like, all right, ladies, like, how do we clean the situation up? Like, Yubin was of course serving sass as usual. She looked like a straight up Barbie doll in that video. Like,
she looks
with the long blonde hair, the makeup looked incredible in this. The styling was great.
Oh my gosh.
Thought Yenny really worked the pink hair. Sunmi looked incredible. And Lim, she really had that kind of like old school glamour. Like, she looked like like a Chinese actress from the 60s or something with
100%.
that kind of like crimped wavy hair,
Yeah.
but short, and she looked very like regal.
Right. No, I 100% agree. I love the color scheme. I love like so many of the looks. There was so much visually to like take in that like, and you know, I thought I Feel You was one of the best videos of last year too. Like so many good things going on there. And they've done it again. I don't know who is like, you know, in charge of Wonder Girls, but like you guys are all killing it. And but the thing is too is that like musically too, I think the Reboot album they wrote or composed on like every track except the single. But this one they wrote and wrote and composed it themselves. So that is so awesome to see.
That is. And I remember we brought that up on a different episode, or is it damn shame that you know people aren't acknowledging that as much because the title track just happened to be the one they did not.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So.
You know, and it almost like it kind of like it unfortunately like discredited them tiny bit.
Yeah.
So, but even though, you know, they learned to play bass and guitar and all these things, but you know, I don't know if you saw JYP, you know, Park Jin Young wrote on Instagram, he said like, congratulations Wonder Girls, like they don't need me anymore, like I'm sad but I'm happy for them because they've grown, you know, so much. So that was really cool.
Absolutely.
That he kind of did that.
Absolutely. The song was a little bit unexpected for me, but I dug it. It's not like generally I wouldn't like gravitate towards a song like that, but I think seeing them attempt something different and then really succeed at it is really great. It's really, really great to see.
No, exactly. And I don't so I was expecting a full-length album here, but then I saw that it was only like a 3-track thing. But did
you like the other tracks? Did you check them out?
Yeah, so I think Beautiful Boy is so good. I think that's
the second track, right?
That's the second track.
That one.
That one is just as good as the single, I think.
That's actually like my favorite album.
Really?
Tracks,
Ooh. Yeah, wow.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'm like, well, so the good news is that they were giving an interview and they said, you know, we were just trying to have songs that all work together for the summer, but we have all these other tracks that we wrote that we're going to put out later, like on another album. So it sounds like they're already getting
follow-up.
Yeah, there is going to be some type of follow-up for like
I'm excited.
Later in the week, or maybe it'll have.
This is just a taste.
Yeah, these are things that
3 tracks for us.
Right, that worked for the summer, they said, and those kind of things. So yeah, I'm so excited to
I love the art direction for.
Yeah, just so many things. Just like, oh, it was so on point, and I'm so happy for them. You know, and it's like just like slightly psychedelic, like those guitars, those really like rushing guitars, like that's so 70s and just so like 60s of that time. You know, like very I'm just so.
Has Yenny had black hair in like the past 2 years? I feel like
she ever had black hair?
She had purple hair in like the
Yuna video, right?
Yeah, the Yuna Cheetah collab.
Right.
And now she's pink and like.
She had it for her solo debut under Hot Tub.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I honestly, I just think, and from what I can tell, it's doing really well in Korea. Like this song took over a bunch of. Right now. So I'm really, really happy for them.
And I saw messages from both Sun and Sohui supporting them, which is Sohui's like, I'm on iTunes streaming or something like. On iTunes. Yeah, like and.
No, that's so cool to see. I'm so happy for them. So I really hope, Wonder Girls just means more, you know. I think Beast and Wonder Girls are just examples that, you know, things are still moving along, you know.
Longevity is real.
Longevity can be real, you know. Like we've had kind of some disappointing acts like this year, you know, with like, you know, people disbanding, leaving. But I think these were happy moments for longtime K-pop fans. So
overall, really, really solid week.
I know. We've been going on about this. We need to shut up and go on to the other sections.
I feel like so positive. I don't think I said like so many positive things on an episode before. Usually I'm like
I know.
Usually I'm like picking on something really or like being very
No, it's gonna be exciting. It's
meaner.
Good. Yeah, I'm excited to see who does well on the charts. Excited to see who kind of like shines for the summer. I think this was a great start to the second half of 2016.
Okay, now it's the tough question.
Yeah.
Which was your favorite if you had to vote in the poll?
If I'm thinking overall, like I'm counting up all the points in my head.
Yeah.
It probably would be Wonder Girls.
Wonder Girls?
17's like close second. I gotta say, I love it.
Oh, it's tough because like I love the Beast song, but the video wasn't really doing it for. It wasn't terrible. um, I'll probably say Beast because I think usually I would gravitate to a song like that anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
I liked it like right away, pretty much. So.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be an exciting poll to see too.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Cool. All right.
Yay.
And now, good music chat. Always a good music chat with you, Tina, but this one in particular. And then let's get into our charts section where we check out the top 5 K-pop songs on US iTunes right now.
Oh, I bet 17's on this.
I bet they are too. Let's check it out. At number 5, Why by Taeyeon.
It's only at 5?
It came out last week.
Oh, fine.
Because you know who's knocking her out is at number 4, Simple by 17. That's one of the new tracks on the album.
Oh, that's right.
It's a nice one. I listened to the new tracks on the album.
She's
and Simple,
getting knocked down by not even the single from 17?
Deal with it, Tina.
Fine.
Simple, yeah. It's one of the nicer tracks on it, as is number 3, Healing by 17.
Okay.
This is another nice one too. They're both like I think they both kind of show a different side, a little more mellower side of 17. Okay. And number 2 is No FUN by 17.
Oh God.
Which this one's a little more, it's a little crazier, it's a little more electronic, and a lot of fans were waiting for this song because they performed it on their reality show or their kind of pre-debut shows. So fans kind of knew this one. They were waiting for this one, so that was kind of cool. That makes sense. And then at number 1, if you can guess it, is Nice, Very Nice by 17.
Damn, killing it.
I know. I saw this song rising into the top 150 songs on iTunes too. So I'm not trying to say I'm really good at predicting these things, but I'm really good at predicting. Really good but I mean, no, that's awesome for 17. You know, I think this group has been in the works for so long. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think they even would have anticipated any type of American recognition or interest, and here they are doing quite well. So I'm very excited to see kind of what happens. So
good for them.
Yeah, they almost shut everything. They almost were on BTS level here. They were
shut it down.
I know, for crying out, or EXO level. Remember that week where it was just EXO and BTS?
Yes.
Cray. And last but not least, in our deep cut section, where we talk about a topic kind of trending or getting K-pop fans talking, I saw this over the weekend when I was kind of putting off unpacking in my new apartment.
Oh my God, congrats. You signed the lease?
Well, yes.
That's awesome. I didn't know you actually locked it down.
No, it is locked down. I am there. I'm unpacking. My roommate forced me to have everything unpacked by Monday, so I said, okay, I'll do it. You know, so I did it. But I had to take some breaks, and I was just reading. There was this interesting discussion I kind of saw going on about. So there's been we've been kind of talking about it, if Wonder Girls and Beast were kind of one generation, and even though I think that generation is going very strong, there's another generation that's kind of growing as well. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of murky for a while. You know, there were groups like EXO and BTS and AOA, you know, kind of part of this new resurgence, but they were kind of the middle of this new era or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I saw a bunch of people talking about how the large groups, there's lots and lots of large groups nowadays. Just last week, Jellyfish Entertainment debuted their new girl group called Gugudan, I think is how it's pronounced. And they have 9 members. They have 2 girls from the IOI group that were in there. Starship Entertainment just debuted a 12-member girl group. You know, 17 has 13 members. Trying to think who else is and then, you know, people were contrasting that with something like YG Entertainment, who just announced their new girl group, but it's only 4 members.
Right. They tend to skew more 5 and under.
Right. Yeah. And people were kind of, you know, there was interesting discussion going on because I saw some people being like, oh, you know, 4 is the perfect number and I can, you know every girl or I can know every member. But then they were also saying things like, you know, with 9, you know, people get lost in the mix and, you know, they're like, oh, Starship, you should have cut this group into 2 different groups and, you know, all these things. You know, I was just reading the lots of back and forth. And then people were also saying, though, you know, but, you know, if with more members, there's more potential to see more people and have more biases. So I thought we'd just talk about it now. Yeah, like what kind of, let's just chat a little about large versus small K-pop groups.
I think that this is something that has always kind of been a K-pop issue, or like a talking point, because I feel like K-pop, everyone knows it's more of a manufactured industry if you're talking more mainstream K-pop, and so in that sense having big groups is not surprising, but I feel like it's really in the past 5 years or so that it has really, really, really gotten, like, in my opinion, a little bit out of control.
Really?
Because I think what really helped build that kind of desire to form huge groups is seeing the success of groups like Super Junior and Girls' Generation, and people trying to essentially replicate that,
find their own,
because SM really kind of propelled that, because SM really, even though they seem very conventional in terms of the culture of like the big three, or if you want to say big four including Cube companies, SM culture wise they're a bit more traditional and conventional, but they do really push the envelope in terms of trying like more like large scale things they like to do, right? Like especially NCT, their latest project. So they really like to do large scale things, and I think that really contributed to people wanting to try new groups. And it's all about selling the group, right? Marketability. So large groups, of course, the argument's gonna be there are more options. It's not like because they're a product, so it's like there are more options. What's key is the fan, right? And you want to sell to the fan, so you want the fan to be like, which is my favorite member? And if there are only 4 or 5, statistically,
less chance.
The chances of you connecting with a member is lower.
Right.
So you want like 10 options versus 5 options, right? But I personally think, well, if you have 10 people, then that's less chance for individual members to shine, and that's fewer lines for each member. That's fewer shine. Somebody's always gonna be a standout versus somebody else.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like whom you're trying to benefit, because I don't think that's beneficial. Large groups are not beneficial to the members, but it's beneficial, I guess, to the company and to fans.
Okay. Yeah.
But I personally I get overwhelmed when there are more than like 6 members. I really do. It freaks me out. I'm like, I don't have time.
I do not have time.
I like when groups are 5 and under. Also, I grew up with American pop, and American pop really kind of set the tone I guess, like, really, what am I trying to say here? Kind of,
well, like, we don't have anything. Like, we've never had more than like 6.
We're used to seeing like 5-member groups, and that's what.
And each one has that personality, like the Spice Girls
like
or something.
Considered normal for us. Like that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like what I grew up with. So.
Yeah, I mean, and what I think is also, it's interesting you bring up it's beneficial to the members, because I think when you look at a group like a company like YG, who typically stays smaller, although how many members does Icon have? I forget. Is it 7 or 6? They might.
I think it's 6, but Icon's like relatively newer, so that's like maybe their attempt at a couple, maybe like a couple extra members. But
like YG's whole thing is like authenticity, right? That's the thing, is like they really Icon is 7, but YG's whole thing is authenticity, and I feel like it is beneficial for a company like YG to like have those smaller groups, because they can be like, oh, you can really get a feel for each member as like an artist, regardless of whatever their
YG's really good at focusing on exclusivity and like intimacy, and they really, because they're all about like family, they're YG family, they don't just let anybody in, so they because I feel like it almost devalues a member when you have more members.
Yeah, I know, right. And that's the thing too, is that like, it's like, it's so I think you're right. I do, I kind of, well, here's the thing too. So my thing, I like large groups. I'm all for it. It never was jarring to me, like thinking of it. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very entertaining to me. And
that's the thing. The performance aspect
mm-hmm.
is it takes it to the next level when you
Yeah.
have 12 people dancing in sync up there. So
Right.
when it comes to concert experiences, a lot of people who are new to K-pop or have never seen K-pop perform live, they're just blown away. They're like, that was incredible, because it's like we don't really see that here in the States. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like a
Right.
that's like freaking like drumline status where you have like
Yeah.
that many people performing in sync.
Right. And I'm also very into, like, I love thinking about formation and different groups and how different personalities and colors and vibes like mix together.
Right.
So I always find like that really interesting. I'm always like, oh, those three members are like on this side there and they're
Right.
doing this, but for some reason those two are right there in the middle doing that. Like, I find that stuff really interesting.
Right.
I always loved like breaking my friends into like groups and being like, we go this way, you guys go this way. No, but I want to bring up another interesting thing that kind of like was going through my head too, is that, do you think it's a male female thing ever? Like like it works one way for boy groups or it works another way for girl groups? Because I feel like the larger boy bands seem to do, it sounds like when you have like an EXO or something, it's better than, like, I feel like, Girls' Generation I feel like is sort of like the outlier.
Right.
But more or less, and Twice is sort of maybe like that other Girls' Generation that did well, but I feel like larger ones tend to be trickier, and I don't know what it is.
For females.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Or this is just, me thinking very quickly.
I think that's fair to say, because I think fangirls, they love like going shopping, and they're like this new boy band, there's 10, 12 members. They're like, ooh, like which is going to be my bias? And that's like almost like one of the first things you do, you want to see when there's a new group, which one's your favorite. It's almost like you have to pick a favorite, right? Like that's the person you focus on. So I almost feel like girls, like fangirls, are more prone to wanting to focus on boy groups and
having more of them,
pinpointing which ones they like the best. Whereas like I think with girls, I don't know if it's like because females are like competitive, that like it's not always from a supportive light.
Yeah,
they're very judgmental. So they might be like, oh, she's so pretty, but it's not like she's my favorite because of like visuals or something. Like it's not as easy to decide for a girl to decide who her favorite girl is.
Right. And I don't know if a group is even looking to be more there for the male gaze. I don't know if having more members helps that per se, like as long as like because like I think about a group like Girls' Day or something, or AOA has 7 members or something like that. Those are fine amounts to get like interest in that way, and sort of where it doesn't seem like if they had twice as many members that it would be any different. If anything, it might almost like muddy like the overall concept of it all and like the look of it all. So I was thinking about that when I think about large versus small.
That is interesting, because I never really thought about it like in terms of gender.
No, I thought it was maybe an interesting point. But I think another thing too is what I've been thinking about, is that I really think we were saying this too, is like the individuals need to be highlighted. And what I really like about 17, at the very least, even though there's so many members, is that they have these teams or whatever, like the vocal team, the hip hop team, and the performance team. And at the very least, they've been very good at like putting like those 4 guys in the performance team and the 4 rappers, and they're always like kind of, they package them quite well together. So it's almost like 3 different groups that you're getting into.
See, that's interesting that you say that, because one of the concerns with large groups is, certain members, they're not spotlighted enough. Their talents aren't being shown enough. So, hey, because of that concern, we have a reason to further market them in a different way, aka through a subunit. So that's another way to earn extra money and to sell them more. Like, okay, this is we're going to have to break them up into 3 subunits because they don't have enough airtime or face time. So through this, they are essentially in like 2 different groups.
Right, which I think is, do you think it's beneficial?
I just think there's more to keep track of. I think it's almost like to each their own in certain instances. Because like, I'm just like, I like to keep things simple.
Keep it simple.
So like, I think the most I can handle is like what Big Bang did, where they had like GD and Top did a project. Taeyong's great solo. Taeyong is like, he screams like, you know, that Chris Brown kind of, you know, he can do all that dancing, singing, whatever. Right. So, you know, Sun Lee did it too, and like he was fine, and like, you know, I think, but yeah, I think that's the most I can really handle. Mm-hmm. I don't need like multiple side projects, and like I guess other than Taeyeon, GD doing like solo stuff like occasionally, it's something that's like, oh, they're always gonna like go back to their group. Yeah. You know, so I think they successfully did that.
I think so too.
I almost feel like sometimes they focus almost too much on the subunits, or they don't I don't know if they like market it well, or I just don't know which one I should focus on more, or which one like you put more priority on as a label. So
yeah, right. No, it's so true. I mean, because I even heard with the WSJN group, the Starship group, that they have like different, I think they have like 4 different groups with like 3 girls each, but it doesn't, it's not very like obvious to me. But I guess, you know, it's like, these are the right steps, but I think, you know, you do run the risk of having like a lot of people get outshined and overshined. And, you know, I get it. Like, you know, all these companies are training all these people, you know, like for so long, like why not put as many of them out there? But
and I think another thing is just the timing. Like, why are you already splitting them into subunits? They haven't debuted yet.
Yes, exactly.
Like, can you give me a second to like even figure out this group as like as a whole before you start breaking them up?
Right. No, that's the thing too, is that you can't make it too confusing either. You know, like you need to remember that.
Because in my mind, I'm already separating members.
Right.
It's not like, oh, Big Bang debuted and I'm like, oh, like GD and Top would be dope together, and then people, you know, push for that, or, you know, talk about that at the forums, and then it actually happens, and then it's, oh my god, it's so cool. Like, I don't know, I feel like already kind of just marketing them as like, oh, they're a group, but they're kind of not already. They're already separated. That just like messes with me. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's just too complicated to begin with.
It is a little because that's the thing too, is that the whole point of the subunits would be to give a breakout moment to other people.
And to highlight certain skills. It's like, I don't even know what your skills are yet. Like,
give me time to figure out where you're lacking so I can decide later. But no, it's interesting. It does
seem like the large group trend is really exploding.
Yeah, I mean, because it was quite remarkable that even YG's new girl group, Blackpink, by the way, or Blackpink. It was like remarkable that there were only 4.
Right. And that's a relief to me. I'm like, yes, it won't take me too long to go through their info.
Did you hear that they were going to debut another girl group right afterwards, and they went back on that? Like,
I know, but like, I don't really take YG's word for shit unless it actually happens.
Tina, coming with the truth.
He's always playing with us.
He is always playing with us.
I don't got time for this. So.
Yeah. But what we do have time for is knowing what you guys think of large versus small groups. Yeah, send us some comments. We'd love to keep the discussion going and, you know, see what you think of. We'll talk about them next week because, who are your favorite large groups, your favorite small groups? Is this the future? Too much, too little?
Yeah.
20-member group, is it coming? I'm ready for it.
No.
I'm ready for 19, the 14-member group.
No.
I'm kidding.
Not ready.
Yes. But as always, guys, you know, and send those comments to #KStop. We're on Twitter. We're on Fuse.tv. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on YouTube. We're all over the place. So, yes, we always have so much fun. So thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. This has been Jeff.
And this is Tina.
Bye-bye.